Here's what happened on the DCI Summer of Learning, presented by Marching Arts Education.
Everybody, so let me say hi to the people on the line here. Lawrence LeClaire. Lawrence, how are you?
I'm doing well today, Tim. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And also on the line today with us, Terry Sanders. Terry, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for doing this. This is awesome.
Absolutely. I'm really glad you guys are here. So before we start talking about Southwind and get this whole webinar series for the day underway, there's a special surprise celebrity guest from DCI that's here with us. So come on and say hello.
Hi,
There he
Tim.
is.
Hi,
Everybody's John
everybody. How you doing?
Benobi from DCI. Awesome. Thank you, John, for being here.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Absolutely. So we wanted to highlight Southwind and say thank you to them. And we're so appreciative at Marching Arts Education that DCI trusted us to help promote all the corps and Drum Corps International with this webinar series. So John, thank you for allowing us to do it and working with us on it.
Well, thank you for being such a great partner. And this has been a long time coming. I know we've been kind of talking about this concept for some time. So I know you're super excited to see this come to fruition, as we are too. So thank you for all your hard work and all you do for the marching arts and for education in the marching arts. And really, really just thrilled to be a partner with you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate so much Drum Corps International giving us the opportunity it's so much fun to have all these conversations with all these incredibly smart and really hardworking people that are instructors and corps directors and designers from all these corps. It's really been very inspiring. I mean, the level of talent and passion and dedication is on display. And you see that every day when you work with them, John.
Well, the sheer diversity that you're bringing together, you're bringing ideas that just because you're not necessarily, you don't have a medal around your neck or ring on your finger, everybody in the activity has something to add, and it can be super beneficial to people. Even if you've got 7 championship rings on your finger, somebody can give you that extra piece of information that they said it to you in a different way, or they made you think about it or look at it from a different angle. And that's why us celebrating the instructional staffs of corps at all levels is such a valuable resource, and it truly shows the depth and how strong Drum Corps International really is. We've got excellent administrators and instructors from top to bottom.
Well, and see, this is something that you and the folks that are in the main gurus, grand poobahs of the DC. Can I call you the grand poobah of DCI? I guess you're.
No, it's kind of a misconception. If the office was open right now, obviously with the current situation, it's not open. But if you were to come visit the office, you would see people who do accounting and people who do operations and people who ship things out of a warehouse. And there's Dan Atchison, he's a poobah for sure. But the DCI is the course. So if you want to look at who are the superstars and who are the celebrities, it's the corps, it's the staffs, the administrators and the members, performers, and then ultimately the fans. So I don't think anyone within the DCI office looks at them as a guru or a poobah. Thank you for saying that. But it is really, as Drum Corps is, it's a team effort and everybody plays a role, and there's no, I think egos get left at the door.
Well, that's true. And that's actually been true of like everybody I've been talking to. But I do think we can call you the grand poobah of sound sport.
It's certainly been a passion project of mine. It's something that myself and Bob Jacobs co-created and have seen through to where it is today. We were on pace to have more than 11 international groups at DCI finals this year through the sound sport program. As far away as Jakarta, Indonesia. We had 2 from England, several more from Canada, Costa Rica, Colombia. There was 1 from Thailand. It was shaping up to be just an amazing year. But the passion is like for groups like Southwind that had the opportunity to reemerge and to use it as a platform to get back into the flow of things and build up their organization, and then get their footing and then use that as a catapult. And that's what they've done. And look at them today. I was at the performance. I don't know if it was their first, it was certainly their first competitive, because it was in Huntsville, Alabama in 2014, I want to say. I think they had performed once or twice prior to that, but Huntsville, I think, was the first time that DCI crowd had seen them in an organized fashion. And I remember them, and they were very strong right out of the gate. And I was like, wow, this is really great. And then I've seen those videos of last year when they were doing horn warm-ups at a camp early in the season, and they had this enormous horn line, and people are saying, that's Southwind. You know, to see how far they've come in a short amount of time by utilizing a program that gave them that, just a stepping stone, just a little bit of a boost. And then, you know, it's kind of like you can lead a horse to water. They drank, you know, they took the opportunity and carried it. And now look at them today. And they're going to be great next year and for many, many years to come. And I think a lot of groups that take advantage of the Sound Sport program can do the same. What they were was patient. They trusted in the program and they didn't look past it. They said, let's max out what we can do within Sound Sport. When we're ready, we'll make that jump. And they were ready rather quickly. I mean, they had a lot of benefit going into the program, having been a core that had some, you know, obviously long history and resources behind it. So for them, it was an easier task to make the jump. It's not easy for anybody, but for them, I think they had a lot of things really going in their favor. And you know, like I said, the results speak for themselves. Look at them today. Look at them on this. I mean, they're a Sound Sport. They were a Sound Sport team in 2014, and now today they're a DCI Summer of Education panelist team.
I mean, it's really impressive. And I mean, we're going to be talking about their history on this webinar session. And we're also going to be talking about sort of that process the last few years of this reemergence in such an impressive way. Lawrence, do you or Terry want to speak to John about that Sound Sport experience before we let him go?
Well, yeah, Sound Sport was what triggered us to go ahead and jump into the pool, really. There was a set of alumni who wanted to bring the core back for years after they folded in 2007, and they were slowly putting together money, and then Sound Sport came out the year before that, I believe, and had seen how that was working for DCI, and saw that as an opportunity to jump in. And you know, from that point, we just did a short, I think maybe 4 or 5 shows. We were a mini drum corps, 44 members, just enough to fit on a bus. We didn't even have I think we may have had an old box truck that we borrowed from a local band. Mm-hmm. And luckily there were enough shows that were within about a 6-hour radius from our home base that we could perform at. And so the membership had a great time. It was nothing can substitute the experience of being on the road and learning how to feed your members, how to put together rehearsal days, secure space, and that nice little venture helped us out a lot. And then the support of DCI afterwards, because you know, corps are run a lot differently now than they were back in the 80s or the 90s. And so trying to set up our administration and being invited to those meetings to start, instead of having to change everything, you know, after you've been in a corps for 40 years, but to start with a solid foundation to move forward. That's the important part. That's what's helped us the best, right? Yeah. If you have a good product, you're going to attract more people and better people. And that's, I mean, the guy down here, he's gotten to experience it, and that's why he's on board. And all of our staff, which are, you know, they've jumped in, they're giving it all. So it's been great.
And Southwind's been a great inspiration for anyone who wants to start a corps, join a corps, just to get involved. That look what you can do if you put your mind to it and you get the right people behind it. You know, the sky's the limit. So, you know, again, kudos and standing ovations to Southwind and the entire organization for, you know, being where you are today.
Yeah, we appreciate the support, John. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
Well, and John, I just love how smart it was that you guys came up with this program that, like, very organically helps this process actually happen. I just think it's super smart, and all the other extra people that are being engaged and involved in that way, it's very cool. And we're going to talk a lot today also about, like, no matter what size the corps, how many members they have, or where they are in the whole world of Drum Corps International, those students are all getting a great experience, great education, passion of their instructors at every level. So that's definitely, Southwind's a great example of that. So John, I don't want to take your whole day. Thank you so much for stopping by as our special celebrity guest. Anything you want to say before you go?
No, just again, thank you. And to all the students watching today, keep working hard. I know it's a real tough time we're going through. It's really unprecedented times. Keep playing your instrument, keep getting better. And at some point, we're all going to be back together making music again. So kudos to everybody out there who's going to keep that going. And best of luck and most of the success to everybody.
Thank you, John. You're awesome. I so appreciate you coming by.
Thanks again, Tim. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Find the entire schedule for the DCI Summer of Learning webinar series at marchingartseducation.com/DCI 2020.